Welcome to the Voice of Reason Sports Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the show, leave a comment, and click that like button. Welcome back. What's good?
What up? What up?
Hey, man, more NFL trades and signings, big signings, man. I mean, the biggest one was Justin Fields, traded from the Bears to the Steelers when the Steelers already have Russell Wilson. I mean,
Yeah,
were you surprised like I was surprised on this trade?
Very surprised, man. Very surprised. It's hey, when you that's just showing you a team always trying to get better and not being complacent.
Yep.
No, when they had a shot to get somebody to bring talent in and bring them in cheap too. Bring them in cheap. Steelers making moves.
Yeah.
If I was a Steelers fan, I'll be very, very happy right now.
Yeah. I mean, what you got to lose? You know what I mean? Or you can be one of these teams out there that's struggling to find a quarterback. You know what I mean?
Right.
You bring in a veteran guy like Russell Wilson that's won a Super Bowl, that played fairly well last year in Denver, right? Probably not to the level of his contract, but he played fairly well. And Justin Fields, a young player that has the potential to be really good, but hadn't really shown it in Chicago. So I think it was a smart move by the Steelers, because the opportunity to get like a Caleb Williams or one of the top tier quarterbacks in this draft is unlikely for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, they still got to shore up their defense. The defense got a little soft last year, but they're still making moves in a positive direction.
Right. And you could probably shore up that defense with the draft picks, right?
Yeah. They're doing great in offense and free agency right now.
Right.
And they're getting them cheap too. Got Russell Wilson cheap. You ain't got to pay him no money. And then you get Justin Fields for a conditional 6th-round pick.
Right.
Jeez.
Yeah. Hey,
that's unbelievable.
Right. So this is a great opportunity for the Steelers, and we'll see how it shape out. But on the flip side of it, I guess it says that the Bears are taking Caleb Williams, right? That debate is over, whether or not to keep Justin Fields or draft Caleb Williams. I think this is the right move by the Bears.
I mean, yes, all things say that's who they're going to pick. I don't know how great of a move that's going to be for them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, on paper, it looks great. It looks okay. But I'm starting to see a lot of diva in this guy, man. I'm starting to see a lot of diva in Caleb Williams.
I'm seeing a lot of diva in him too. But look at it from this standpoint. Unless you're a really, really bad team year in and year out, you don't get that many opportunities to get a number 1 overall pick, right? And when you get it, you want to hit. And you got this opportunity to get a special talent, someone that's considered the best quarterback in this draft. It's worth the risk. Every quarterback comes in with some risk, whether they, arms not strong enough. They failed what is that test that the NFL test the players on? The Wonder Lick.
Wonder Lick,
yeah. Because CJ Stroud didn't do well on the Wonder Lick, and
mm-hmm.
You got all of this stuff. They all come in with risk, and you see how well the Wonder Lick worked in determining how well CJ Stroud was going to play. But anyway,
right.
I just think from the standpoint of they know Justin Fields. We've seen it. We've seen it for 4 years. You don't know Caleb Williams, but he did pretty well in college. He was considered the number 1 overall pick last year. You're not going to have this opportunity for a while to get that number 1 overall pick. I think you take it. Yeah, you got to take it.
I mean, like I said, man, if it was me personally, what I would do, I would trade the pick down to about like 5 or 6 and take one of those other quarterbacks. Because from what I saw, I really think that Caleb's stock went down toward the end of last year when they started losing all those games. He wasn't coming through in the clutch. He didn't look very, very clutch. Wasn't winning in those times like we expect the number 1 quarterback. Like when Joe Burrow came in that dude came in on top.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Caleb Williams, not so much. And then you add all the diva factors that's going on. He came to the combine and said he wasn't going to work out. Wasn't going to do anything. I don't even think he said it. I don't even think he let him measure his height.
Yeah, well, that's not uncommon. Normally, the number 1 overall pick doesn't participate in that stuff.
Yeah, but not even get your measurements.
Yeah, because it's going because if they measure you or they see or you run the 40-yard dash and you much slower, you show weakness. So it's better if you're the number 1 overall pick. You consider the number 1 overall pick. Why bother with that stuff?
Yes, and I think that's how the stuff be changing last minute.
Yeah,
you get surprises. Somebody say, "Oh no, you wasn't picked."
I think when somebody is considered a number 1 overall pick because of their performance in college, and that's the consensus, then it is not worth it to participate in the combine because you can show weakness and cause your stock to drop. Like he has nothing to gain by participating in the combine. Nothing to gain. So I think it's smart by him. Like I thought it was smart that Lamar Jackson didn't run the 40-yard dash. And the reason he didn't run it is because if he'd have ran it and he would have ran like a 4.2 or 4.3 like everybody expected, they would have made him a receiver.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't have been a quarterback. He would have been a receiver, and he wouldn't be making, what is it, $300 million or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So
it's like, I mean, I'm not. That's not the only thing. You know what I'm saying? This going on. It's a lot of stuff coming out. In the media, in particular, like what teams he want to play for, and what team he don't want to play for. Like that type of thing. So I don't know, man. I'm just like the more I started watching him, you know what I'm saying? Because I already thought he was talented, like last year and some of the year before that. But the more I watched him this year, and I kind of watched him closer, the less impressed I was. I mean, maybe that was a good thing he didn't participate.
Right.
But I just wasn't that impressed. Particularly the game he played against Dion and them.
You wasn't impressed with that game?
No, they scored a lot of points, but I was just watching him as a quarterback.
I thought he was dominant. You didn't think he was dominant in that game?
Nah, it was Dion's defense was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. He wasn't finding people as quick as he should find them. See, Dion, Colorado didn't have no pass rush whatsoever. And he got to stand back there, run to the left, run to the right, run to the left again, stand in the pocket, then run to the right again, find his man. It was crazy. I was like, yo, they might as well just not rush him at all. Just send everybody back, send 11 back, and then don't rush him because their pass rush is terrible.
Yeah,
Colorado.
Colorado's defense was bad. But, well, anyway, we know he's going to Chicago. And when he gets there, not only he's going to have DJ Moore, he's going to have Keenan Allen because Keenan Allen was traded from the Chargers to the Bears. So he's going to have a really good receiving core when he gets to Chicago. And now, if Chicago can't win with this team, I think Caleb Williams has talent around him in Chicago. And he should be able to do some type of, CJ Stroud, Texans type thing and take them to the playoffs, at least the first round.
I wouldn't hope
you don't see it?
No. CJ Stroud that's once every 15 quarterbacks. But what I'm saying? That's not something that's going to happen on a regular.
But I'm saying that from the standpoint of the NFC South. Okay, well the Packers are good, the Lions are good, but the Vikings should be bad.
They should be bad.
They should be bad. Right.
Yeah, we don't know what they're doing, but yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'll be looking closely at the Bears. We'll have to see how Caleb Williams. I mean, he's the number 1 overall pick. He should play well. So I mean,
we've seen a lot of number 1 picks did not play well.
Right. Like Young from last year, but CJ Stroud was the number 2 overall pick. So
yeah.
We should. I don't know. I'll be watching them closely because they made some good moves. I think this was the right thing to do to go with Caleb Williams.
Well,
They've
we
seen
don't
enough.
we not locked in yet. Let's say 90% because
That's
there's some options. There's some
man,
options.
Dale, that's a done deal.
It ain't
Ain't
a
no
done deal.
option. It's a done
No,
deal.
no, it's not. It's not a done deal. Do you know how much they could get for him right now? Like they can set themselves up for the next 3 years
They ain't
and
doing
still
that.
get a good quarterback.
They
And
ain't
still
doing
get
that.
a good quarterback.
They,
Nah,
they
they said it ain't said and done. I'm telling
it's
you.
said and done, man. Trust me.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not said and done.
Well, who you
But
think they're gonna take other than Caleb Williams?
I mean, you got a choice for a good 4 quarterbacks. All you got to do is stay in the top 10. Stay in the top 10.
Who are the other 3 quarterbacks?
You got Jalen. You got Jalen McDaniels.
Jalen Daniels, yeah,
Right.
right,
You got the dude from you got a dude from Washington. I can't think his name right
yeah,
now.
Penix.
You got Penix.
But I don't think
Right.
he's going in the top
You
5,
got
top 10.
you go Bo Nick. I think he could go top 10. I think he very well could go top. Only issue he got is his injury problem. That's it.
No, not only that. Him and Bo Nix are older. They're both
Okay,
older
what does
quarterbacks.
older mean? Older is like 23.
Yeah, 23, 24. I mean, but that's taken into
That's not a
account. That's
bad
why
thing in the NFL.
yeah, but the NFL, they're taking that into account and holding it against those guys. Well, I mean, Penix got the injury problem. Bo Nix
Yeah,
has been around.
he's been around, but is a seasoned quarterback. He's
yeah,
not 28. He ain't coming in the league 28. He's just
yeah,
a seasoned quarterback. When he come in, he'll be more ready.
yeah. But I know that they're projecting him to go like after 10 picks or something like that.
Yeah, and don't forget that dude from North Carolina that's shooting up. Man.
Yeah,
People
I,
talking about him. So
yeah,
there's some quarterbacks that could be still available, and you can get a king's ransom. You know what I'm saying?
right.
I don't think it's locked and loaded yet.
Okay.
Because they talking them up. Somebody either gonna want May or they're gonna want that dude. They're gonna want Caleb Williams. And if they throw 3 first rounds, 2 second rounds, I don't know. I'm taking it, dog.
I don't know. I'm taking the number 1 overall pick. I ain't gonna have this option every year.
You don't have to though. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to. You could go down and get a CJ Stroud.
Mm-mm.
You can go down and get a CJ Stroud or something like that. You can
See,
go down.
the
You
problem
can go
was,
down and get you a
but the
and get
problem
you a
was,
Patty Mahomes. You can go
CJ
down and
Stroud
get you a
should have
Patty
been the
Mahomes.
number 1 overall pick. That was the problem. I didn't understand why
Nobody had him
I
as the number 1 pick going over.
oh yeah, it was between him and Bryce Young.
Earlier they did, but when it came down to the last 30 days, 45 days, it was all Bryce Young. There
It
was no
became all Bryce Young because the the
to honor.
Panthers traded up for it, and they
Right.
made it clear that's who they wanted.
Right.
But it was like CJ Stroud looked fantastic during the combine. It was like, why would you go with anybody else but this guy? It was obvious that he was the better quarterback. He had the size. He had the size, and he had the anticipation and arm strength.
Well,
So
speaking of size, that's one of the knocks on Caleb Williams.
yeah, well,
A lot of
presumably
people
until we
say,
get him measured.
yeah, a lot of people say he's not even 5'11".
Yeah. Well, I don't even know Bryce Young is 5'9".
Well, he's 5'9". He's at least 5'9".
I don't know, man. That dude looked tiny.
He's 5'9". I'm 5'9". He's definitely
He
taller
looks
than
smaller than you. Did you see him out there?
No, man, he don't look smaller
Dude,
than me.
watch him play. He looked like a child out there.
I mean, he way less than me, but that's for sure. But he's smaller than me.
When I watched this dude play, I was always questioning. I was like, man, this looks unfair. He looks like a child out there playing quarterback. It almost looked like the Make-A-Wish thing, when they got the child out there to run a play, and the defense is running around him trying to tackle him. That's how he looked. He looked like a child in a football suit. I don't know. We'll see. But look, one thing that my Saints, they made a big signing. Chase Young is coming to the Saints. He's on a 1-year deal for $13 million. I like the deal. It's a prove-it deal. I think Chase Young has the potential to be something great. It just never materialized, especially when he's with the Commanders. I think a lot of it was because of his injury problem, right? He's always injured. His motor is in question. But The dude is, he's a specimen. What, 6'5", I think it runs a 4.5 or something ridiculous like that. I'll never forget the line that Tomlin said when he saw him on the sideline. And he told him, he said, "You know how many games I got to lose to get a player like you?" And it's true, man. So we'll see. We'll see. I hope it turns out well. Put him on the other side of, shoot, I'm blanking on my defensive lineman name. Wow. I guess because he only had 2 sacks this season. I can't even, Cam Jordan, since he didn't play that well. It was easy to forget his name. He was missing this year. But anyway, put him on the other side of Cam Jordan. We'll see how it turns out. Since we're on the subject of defense, Aaron Donald retired, 3-time defensive player of the year, retired. And I thought this, he was looking to retire last season.
Had nothing else to prove. You know what I'm saying? He's been a Pro Bowl every year.
Right.
He's been
been the most dominant defensive lineman
by far.
By far. I've seen some dominant defensive linemen. Like, man.
Yeah.
Reggie White. He's up there with those guys.
Man, if you can get 10 tackles from the defensive tackle position, if you get 10 sacks from the defensive tackle position,
you're doing something.
You're working for real.
You're doing something.
You don't hear about that nowadays.
No.
Like, defensive tackle get 10 sacks.
The only player I've seen, who was the player that played for the defensive tackle who was so dominant with the 49ers back in the day when they were winning Super Bowls? Was it Brian Young?
That might be.
Yeah. He didn't have, I think that's his name, but he didn't have, this long run like Aaron Donald had, but like for a 2-year period, Young was dominant.
Yeah.
And from the defensive tackle position.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we've seen from this guy. Aaron Donald's done it for a long time, dominating from that position. So big loss for the Rams. I know a lot of quarterbacks out there are rejoicing that he retired because this dude was a menace, like get double teamed from the defensive tackle position, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, you had to.
Right.
You had no choice but to double team him.
Right.
Because he's gonna cause havoc in your backfield.
Right.
He was gonna hit your running back in the backfield. He's gonna sack your quarterback. you weren't gonna run up the middle. So yeah.
Right,
yeah.
Right. And you bring up a good point because not only was a great pass rusher, he was also a good run stopping defensive tackle.
Yeah.
So he was an all-around great player. Should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Shouldn't be any question and no discussion about it. Just matter of fact, just put him in the Hall of Fame right now.
Yep. Give him the exemption. They ain't got to wait 5 years.
Right. Hey, as soon as he hung it up, just give him his gold jacket and get his bus going right now. Let's not waste any time. Why wait 5 years?
Yeah, man. That dude was incredible. I saw some incredible games from that guy. And he was consistent too.
Right.
No fall off.
Right.
He's consistent.
So
even when you know he's coming, he's still coming.
Right. Even when you had the double team ready for him.
Mm-hmm.
He was still coming. So yeah. So long to Aaron Donald. Best of luck to him in his post-football career. It was a pleasure watching him play. So, all right.
Yeah, I don't know what Rams going to do now without it because he was the entire defensive line. But hey, more power to him.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll figure it out. I like Sean McVay. He'll figure it out. So, yep. Okay, so look, we got the tourney coming up. We got the women. Well, we got the men starting first on the 21st, and we got the women starting on the 22nd. Get your brackets. The Voice of Reason bracket challenge is out there. Go to the channel, go under community, and you'll see our link. Or you can just go to the ESPN bracket challenge and just look us up, Voice of Reason, or I think it's VOR VOR podcast, and you can find us there. Join the challenge, see what you got.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. Who's gonna win? Well, we know who's gonna win the win. It's South Carolina. South Carolina's gonna win the women's side of it.
I mean, pretty much. They didn't show their dominance.
Right.
Not that I'm really into the female college game that much, basketball, but
They're
they're
dominant.
clearly the dominant team.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
they got all the horses, the big women in that joint. Like,
Yeah.
compared to the other teams, they tower over the other team.
Right. I mean, LSU gave them a run for their money, but I mean, it took a lot out of LSU to even keep it close.
Yep.
So yeah, I see South Carolina is going to be. I mean, last season, Caitlin Clark was just launching everything, killing South Carolina, and knocked them out last season. I doubt that South Carolina is going to let her get off like that this season. So I see South Carolina taking it all away. Now, the men's side of it, I really got to evaluate. I don't think there's been a strong team all season. So
I mean, you have your stronger teams.
Stronger, but no team that's totally dominating the full season.
No, nobody. I mean, you got your UConns, you got your well, let me not say Marquette. They're playing good, but they don't want to call them dominant.
Right.
But that's reason why I mentioned Marquette, because that's one of my sleeper teams to kind of go far in the tournament.
Okay.
Yeah. So you got Creighton. You got like a lot of teams that could compete and
right.
get there. You produce. You have a lot of teams that they're going to be in the mix. Houston. You're going to have a lot of teams like that.
Right. And I mean, there's just a lot of parity in the men's game right now, right? With NIL deals, players leaving early. It's just created a lot of transfer portal, legendary coaches retiring, right? So, you have less of the top tier players all going to Duke. You know what I mean? So you got a lot more parity now. So it's going to be fun to watch. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. When I do my bracket, I'm going to be using that generate bracket for me. Let the computer do it.
Right.
So, I think I said that we can create 5 of them. 3 of them will be created by the computer, and then 1 or 2 I'll do on my own. So
yeah, I mean, I got an idea of the teams that like I like. I haven't been following the NCAA game like the NBA as much, but I do have my idea of the team I like.
Right.
To do the thing.
Yeah, same here. But speaking of the NBA, right? Did you see Kyrie Irving with the game winner going left?
Yeah, man.
Shooting it with his left, almost like a hook shot going left over the Nuggets. I mean, is it fair to say that Kyrie Irving is the most skilled basketball player in today's game? Like, well, I wouldn't say skill, the smoothest player in today's game.
It's between him and Steph. Because Steph still be throwing them amazing layups.
That's true.
I still don't know how he gets him up there without getting blocked. Every time.
Right.
He gets them through there somehow.
It's crazy how smooth they are and how their game is just so effortless to them.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Kyrie's always did that. He got the better handles. Steph. He'll dribble you out your ankles. But when it comes to the shooting, you got to get out to the step. You got to get at the step.
That's
nobody
the
step.
Yeah. And I think Kyrie got a lot of the other stuff going on. He's kind of had a bit of an injury history, so I think that's also played a part in the how his career has gone, opposed to how Steph's career has gone.
Oh yeah, I mean, Kyrie's had several times where he's been out there and he's just been absent.
Right.
Just absent from the game for several weeks.
Right.
It's always something like outside of direct basketball that's keeping him from playing.
Right. Yep.
So it's just drama. Been drama with Kyrie for the last few years.
Yeah. But
it's a shame.
But I think he's in a good situation. He's in Dallas. He's with an owner that's a players type owner. who's going to look out for his players. Hopefully, keep him happy there to play with Luka. I think that's a good fit for him. Take some of the pressure off of Luka, where Luka doesn't always have to handle the ball. Take some of the pressure off of Kyrie, where he doesn't always have to handle the ball, and he can play more of a shooting guard. So
Right.
Dallas is a team to watch with those two on the court. Hopefully Kyrie can stay healthy, because I think he was hurt in the playoffs last season. So yeah, hopefully
sure.
Kyrie. Yeah. But I right now, Dallas is doing their thing, but the Pelicans are leading the division. And right now, they're leading the I was about to say the New Jersey Nets, but the Brooklyn Nets by 19. So, my Pelicans are looking good. I like what I'm seeing. I told you a lot of pressure was on Willie Green this year. It's like, dude, you got too much talent on this team not to be making the playoffs.
Right.
I don't want to hear this. So I want to hear that Zion is hurt.
Well, speaking of, that's what I was just about to mention. Is it me or did he lose some weight?
You think he lost weight?
I thought he was a little slimmer than he was in the beginning of the season. To me, he looked a little slimmer.
I don't know.
When I saw him at the beginning of the season, I was like, "Oh, that boy's still eating." You know what I'm saying? Maybe he's in better shape now because
I think he's in better shape. I think
he just wasn't in shape at all.
Yeah, and that's what I try to explain to people. I was like, he came in as a kid. He was like 18, 19 years old when he joined the Pelicans. Making millions. He got a lot of hype behind his name. There's a lot of good eating down there in New Orleans. So, I know I can understand that, he's not in shape. Eating good, hooking up with porn stars. I understand.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, dog.
Young
man, a lot of money, famous. I don't mean to be making excuses for him, but I'm gonna make some excuses for him. That's a lot on his plate, literally.
Yeah, I guess so, man. It's I just don't understand. I just don't understand how out of all the women that you could deal with in the position that you're in, you go get you a porn star. You go get you a porn star to be your, the one that's out there public. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't understand this, Zion. What are you doing?
A vindictive porn star too. What?
Yeah, right.
Got the nerve
to
be jealous.
Out there, like, yeah, dog. I'm like, what is going on, Zion?
Right.
Seriously.
He found a porn star that was jealous that he was with another woman. It's like, wait a minute.
Yes.
So, yeah, young man making mistakes, probably didn't have much guidance, in New Orleans. It could be tough. Yeah, like I said, I'm not trying to make any excuse for him, but you got to look at it from that standpoint that he needed some guidance. And hopefully he's getting that now. He's playing better. I don't know if he lost any weight. I mean, he's still listed at 284, 6'6". That's a lot. But I think that's just how he's built. I think that's
especially the way he be jumping, like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? That's got to be a lot of pressure on his knees and ankles, boy.
But like I tell people, to me, he reminds me of Charles Barkley.
Yeah,
that's how Barkley.
But I don't think Barkley was 280, was he? I don't think he was 280.
He may not have been, but he was up there. He was heavy.
Yeah,
like he tells the story how Dr. J told him that he needed to start eating right. You're a professional, taking your job seriously, and he said that's what got him right. But he was a big man, and he had a weight problem. So, but also Barkley wasn't as tall as Zion. Zion was 6'6", 6'6", 6'7". Barkley probably was 6'3".
Yeah.
Like they showed a picture of him standing next to Dwayne Wade, and Wade was taller than Barkley. Like, you remember they used to do the commercials, the cell phone commercials? This was years back. And it used to have, it was Barkley and Wade together. They were standing next to each other. And I always looked at that like, wait a minute. They're the same height. Yeah. I can remember playing video games, and Barkley's height was always changing. One video game was 6'9", one he was 6'11", next one was 6'6". It was like, how tall is this dude? And I think the actual height is like 6'3", 6'4". Barkley was probably the smallest power forward you've seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But he had a big, wide body that could push you around, and that's kind of what Zion does. I mean, it's the perfect comparison.
I mean, but Zion's a lot more athletic than Barkley though.
You
Like
think
that
so?
explosion with Zion, yes. When Zion is standing still, from him to stand still and
Yeah,
get up so quick
yeah.
and so high and that big, it's like
You don't
is way more athletic than Barkley.
you don't remember when Barkley was with the 76ers and
Yeah,
how
of course I do.
explosive he was, and that
Well,
gorilla dunk.
he could get up to be kind of tubby, but he wasn't like Zion. Zion is like quick jump
Yeah,
high, quick.
well, I think he has a lot more bounce, right?
He definitely got more bounce.
He can get up faster, right? Like I've
Yes,
seen him
that's
like
exactly what I'm
try to
talking
do a
about.
layup, miss it, and quickly got back up on his feet and jump
Yep,
back up to get the rebound and dunk it in. I
yep.
get you on that. But you got to go back and watch Barkley when he was with the 76ers. Dude
Oh no,
was a
I remember. I
my
remember.
God.
I remember very well. He
He,
was. I mean, he definitely was a player. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer for a
oh yeah,
reason.
over for a reason, yeah.
Yeah.
But he was a bully, and he was like pushing people out of the way, just jumping up over him, dunking on him. He had a lot of bounce.
Yeah,
So
man.
yeah. But I think that's probably the best comparison you can get between the two of. For Zion is Charles
Mm-hmm.
Barkley, and I figure it was going to take him 4 or 5 years before he finally figured out. And to me, I think that works into the advantage of the Pelicans, right? You got a player that didn't perform that well his first couple of years in the league, a lot of injuries, so he can't request a lot of money on the next contract once his rookie deal is over. You can get him at a
True.
reasonable price and continue to fill a team out with it. That's what the Warriors did. That's what they
Yeah.
did with Steph. Steph had a lot of injuries, wasn't performing that well. Got him on a cheap deal.
Uh, yeah, I can't disagree with any of
Yeah.
that. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it because is he going to continue to eat himself out of the league? You know,
I,
as far as I am.
I think I don't know this for certain. But I've been screaming it for the past year. He's probably been getting some advice from some of the other great players out there. Hopefully from LeBron. What LeBron says he spends $1 million on his body a year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Hopefully Zion does the same thing. A lot of players, especially NFL players, they have chefs. Get
Yeah.
yourself a chef,
Yep.
right? Get yourself a personal trainer, Zion. Get your house with a gym in it.
Mm-hmm.
You can work out at home with your personal trainer and go to bed,
Yeah.
right? Perfect. You could put the gym right next door to the stripper room with the pole. So you could, hey, you can have the most best world at home. I'm playing,
Yeah.
man.
I mean, look. He could. I mean, he could afford to bring the world to him.
Right, right.
He don't
Bring
have to eat up everything. He can bring everything. And he can bring the best of the best to him.
it to
You know what
him.
I'm saying? And he doesn't have to eat junk food.
Right. Leave Uber Eats at Uber Eats. You know what I mean? Get your chef to come in and make you a hamburger that tastes just as good at one of those fast food joints, but healthy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, they're out there. So I just hope like someone like a veteran player on the Pelicans team like CJ McCollum is really, talking to him and working with him. He seems like a good um, mentor for a player like Zion. And hopefully that's what's working, man. Because right now, the Pelicans are 41-26. They're likely to win this game. They still got a 15-point lead with 3 minutes left. So they're likely to win this. They'll be 42-26. They'll be right on the heels of the Clippers for the 4th spot. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and that's home field advantage in the first round of the playoffs. So be good to see.
Yeah. They're rounded. They're peaking at the right time.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Playoffs. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's probably going to be one of the more interesting playoffs that I've been paying attention to, like
Yeah.
over the next, like 5 to 10 years. Because
Yeah.
to me, the regular season became very, very boring for me. and I couldn't really watch the regular season games because it just seemed like the players didn't care about it.
Mm.
Oh, they're taking rest for stubbing their toe. They was like anytime they wanted. Oh, I'm just tired. I just won't play today. It's like the game didn't matter.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem to be happening as much anymore, right? The load management. I mean, it's there maybe on the back-to-backs, but I mean, one time,
I think this year is not as much because the race is so close.
maybe
You
so.
know what I'm saying? The race is really, really close, so there's nobody locked in already. And there's still like 3 games difference between the top and the top 4 or something like that.
Right. Well, I mean, the main ones that were doing a lot of the load management, like the Kawhi Leonards. I mean, maybe we're just not paying attention. Maybe he's still doing it. You know what I mean? Probably.
He missed a few games. Him, George, definitely missed a few games this year.
Yeah.
Kawhi in general plays most of the games, so you won't see him out a ton. But yeah, they missed a couple of games. As a matter of fact, I think Kawhi just missed a game like maybe 3 games ago.
Yeah, and probably load management.
Yeah,
but like I mean, but like I say, I'm okay with the older players who's played a ton of games. Load manage. I don't understand why the younger players are doing it.
Right.
So,
right. I mean, you're young.
Right.
You had no reason to have to do that.
Right. You should be wanting the ball all the time to perfect your game, to get better. Unless you have an injury, you should always want to get better. Even if the season is pretty much over for your team, you want to get better. Like LeBron, Steph, Kawhi, they ain't got much else to prove. You know what I mean? And considering that they play 100-something games a year because of how deep they go into the playoffs, I get it. But yeah, the other ones, not so much.
Right. Right. Man, I remember when I used to play basketball back in the day, I used to play like 5, 6 games in a row.
Yep, me too.
No problem. Just play them back to back to back to back to back, and come back the next day and do the same exact thing.
Yep. I can remember doing that too, like going from one game to another.
Yeah,
man. And not much water either. I don't remember drinking much water. Like just
It wasn't. You didn't drink water to the end of the game.
Right.
You went over to the water fountain and got something to drink,
Right. It's like, who's next? Who got next?
Yeah, there was no water break in between or nothing.
Right. I remember doing that in the Louisiana heat. I can remember when it was like 100 degrees in the summer. We out balling in the heat, going from one game to another. When the game was over, we'll go stand in the shade. It's like, who got next? Pick your team. Let's go.
Right.
So crazy, man.
Yeah, dog. Amazing.
All right. Let's go and wrap this thing up. Thanks for joining us. We do this thing every week. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you next week.
Allah.